Apologies for everyone that's watching this stream. It may or may not be very effective. We're just doing it live. We're just gonna get right into some fucking combat. I'm not even messing around here. Here, I'm gonna switch over to the fight thing. We're not using the fight thing because I'm not using Roll20.
Yeah, we've had troubles today.
I'm not using Roll20, but
it's been struggle bus.
Yeah, you should be. You're mad at this stream, Noir Grime. You're mad at this stream. You're mad. I'm over here fucking. That's what I'm doing. That's. Yeah, we're gonna.
Peaches.
Thank you, Po Peaches. We're putting the chat into the stream. Let's get this chat in this stream. Let's get it in the middle.
Steve's over here fucking, and Kadesh is over here definitely not.
Not fucking. 100% zero fucking for Kadesh. I'm busy fucking. Welcome to Dungeons and Dying of Exposure, the Waterdeep Dragon Heist. I am your dungeon mommy. My name is Steve, and I am joined by the Booty Pea Saga crew. Introduce yourselves, Booty Pea Saga. Let's start with our celibate friend.
What's up? I'm KadeshFlow, aka Shujaa. My balls are really blue right now.
It's fine. Right across from our blue bald booty clapper. Tia, you want to introduce yourself?
Hello. If I had balls, they'd be a shade of beautiful purple and fuchsia. But I'm here to D&D.
Oh, there goes the internet. That's always good. Okay, and then let's what color are your balls, AAA Ron?
I am AAA Rawn. I am playing Dragon, and my balls are blue, but that's just because I'm a blue dragon.
Oh, bringing it back to diegetic world. Camille, I like to think of myself as your manager in the way that I'm in charge of you in 2 D&D campaigns. So it is an HR issue if I ask you about the hue of your personal body parts. So Camille, just introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Camille, and I'm hanging to the left, but I can't complain. I play Frond.
You are hanging to my left.
It's true. I play Frond, the halfling druid.
Okay.
So does that mean you have half a ball? Or?
I'll never tell. That's a secret between me and my loved ones.
Half. I like not one ball, half a ball. Like, what if you had two? What if you had two, like an orange cut in half, just dangling down there, just like a Satsuma, like a tiny orange. I don't have like an infection or anything. Anyway, welcome back to Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Last time, the crew went a little bit of shopping got themselves some nice little trinkets and gifts. You will see all of your stuff is added to your character sheets already, for those that have obtained something. And then managed to musically perform / intimidate a group of local sailors at a rundown tavern to find themselves a better idea of the location of where a kidnapped floon between Zoblob Shop and the tavern was taken when they were last seen leaving after a night of partying and corralling. So they approached down this dark alley, a very dark alley, an ominous warehouse with some candlelight at the end of it. Dark alley. Do they sneak into the warehouse? Do they do perception checks? Nope. Shujaa just busts open the door. And that's why I'm going to have this entire party roll initiative, because Shujaa just opened up the door happily and with all the confidence of a non-level 1 character.
We do not have a rogue. We are trying our best.
Sorry, I'm sorry, team. I really just was excited about the booty clap bell. I lied.
I mean, the booty clap bell is strong, and understand I am just giving you all shit. There is no right way to play D&D. There is 0% chance you can do anything wrong in my mind. You're all my beloved children, and I love you all unconditionally. So yeah, everybody roll initiative. We're gonna do this theater of the mind style because honestly, I even built the map and everything in Roll20, and I'm gonna waste all of that effort and time because I simply don't want to deal.
Yeah. What do you mean that Steve put in your inventory? You're like, I want this bell. Trying to blame him all of a sudden.
I just didn't expect to read booty bell in my character sheet.
I mean, that's what it is.
I love my bag of teeth's description.
How did I describe it?
Let me pull it up here. So the bag of teeth is described as a leather drawstring pouch full of teeth. Whose teeth? Are they all from the same mouth? Why do you have this? Which tracks to the many items that I do have. Is why? What the fuck?
Yeah, some of them I
got the
issued.
19, by the way.
19 on initiative for Frond. Dragon, what's your initiative?
Oh, sorry, 4.
Nice. Shujaa, what's your initiative?
I forgot how to roll. Did I just click on initiative? Oh, there it is. All right.
Yep.
16.
Yep, there it is. And Chesmee, what's your initiative?
A trifling 5.
Trifling 5. All right, I'm going to auto-roll the initiative. So I'm going to verbally describe this. You come into a warehouse. It is 2 stories tall with like the main story and then kind of an upper balcony that's, exposes the center of the room to the ceiling. There are several Kenku, all roughly within 30 feet of each other, but they're distributed on a couple like cable wire rollers that are large size, industrial, like shipping yard size, turned over into tables. And they're playing poker amongst themselves, or at least they were. That's what you suspect. But when Shujaa just rolled on in, they're like, oh no! And immediately their weapons were drawn. The reason their weapons are drawn is because behind them, on the opposite side of the warehouse, you see a pile of roughly 10 bodies recently slain amongst each other. Some of them look like bandits, like you saw in the Yawning Portal and being arrested. Some of them look like the other people that were mostly dead that you saw when you walked by the guards arresting them. Looks like that fight didn't stop at that alley. It definitely looks like it might have stopped here. But these 4 Kenku are absolutely tensed and ready to get into combat. You're all at the entryway of this warehouse. I would say all of you will just kind of rough it, and you're roughly in the same space or same 2 spaces. So we're going to be a little loose with movement speed, but it is Frond first to act. Frond, leading with the weird-looking halfling. Let's go. What do you do, Frond?
I am going to cast Fairy Fire over the Kenku. So each object in a 20-foot cube within range is outlined in, let's say, a green light. When any creature in the area where the spell is cast is also outlined in light if it fails its dexterity saving throw. Any attack roll against any affected creature or object has advantage if the attacker can see it, and the affected creature or object can't benefit from being invisible.
Okay.
So basically, I'm trying to make it so my friends have advantage.
That is absolutely what you're doing. Give me a moment. So I'm not going to show others the Roll20 map, but I am going to look at my Roll20 map myself, just so that I have better visual context for this, since that's what happens when you do modules. Yeah,
sorry, I immediately cast
you just crushed it.
Not great.
No, it's absolutely.
Of the mind.
I just want to see if you happen to have cast something that got all of them, because that would be great, and it would be great for your party, and I would be very proud of you, and I would give you a gold star.
Right.
Yay!
To make sure
I don't
I'm
like
recording.
Chubbs' idea of squats need to be a redeemable point thing, because I do not want to do squats. I should do squats, but I really prefer not.
If I didn't do the spot second, I wouldn't be able to clap my ass and cause seismic damage.
So what is their theoretical save roll they need to make?
Let me double check. For Fairy Fire, so they need to make a Dexterity saving throw.
What do they need
it's
to hit?
14.
14. Okay, what's their dex? +3. They don't have any kind of thing. So that's a fail. Is this a fail? That is a pass. That is a pass. And that's a fail. So 2 of them out of the 4 have been marked by Frond's Fairy Fire spell. Am I logged in wrong? No, I'm not logged in wrong.
It does
Weird.
say... So it says that any creature in the area when the spell is cast. So I think even if they don't leave that spot, it wouldn't cause them to have to re-roll those saves.
No. It's on cast, I believe, for Fairy Fire.
Yeah. But I am maintaining concentration, so... Which is fine.
Well, I guess I'm really going to theorem mine this. I can't get Roll20 to load up correctly. This is a good day. It's a good day for me. So 2 of the Kenku, we'll call them Kenku 1 and 2. They are glowing with like a shimmering light that allows them to be super easy to hit. And the other 2 Kenku are just in normal light, being average punchability. So we are gonna go through this. Frond just gets in there nice and quick, kind of goes, in my mind, goes like under Shujaa's legs. Frond's not actually that small, but that's how I'm picturing it, and cast that Fairy Fire. But with Frond, with you having made a move and Shujaa having been opening the door, you're going to take the wrath of all of these Kenku, because they are going next.
Very cool.
But they don't want to approach you yet because they're cowards. And so they're all going to roll. They all get 1 attack each. So they whip out their crossbows. 1 crits. That's real bad. So that's 1 crit. That's another hit. That's okay. That's another hit. I don't have to ask because they're rolling like 15 or 16. So I know they're beating your armor class. Shujaa, what's your armor class? What's your AC?
14.
Okay, all of them hit, 1 of them crit. This has gone incredibly bad for you, and you can thank DnDBeyond. I never roll that well in the dice roller. So I'm gonna have if the chat room can actually like hear what I'm saying. Who's in the chat? Paladin, you're in the chat room. Roll any kind of dice and tell me if it just comes up odds or even. Frond, you're odd. Shujaa, you're even.
Ooh,
This is gonna decide who the crit hits.
Very cool. Now I can't like be like, you should get this one because Shujaa is my teammate who I'd like to be alive to do damage.
Exactly.
Yeah, Paladin, if you got it.
Yes. Also, everyone remember to vote in the very important poll.
Why is there
Even.
a blue bell poll?
Even.
I'm not even booty bell or
Even.
booty bell. I don't know.
Bell,
I'm torn.
I vote booty. Vote.
so it's even.
Even, which means Shujaa, you take the crit and the other hit. How many hit points do you have, Shujaa?
8.
All right.
Yeah, I'm actually the beefy one.
Unfortunately, Shujaa, your entire moment here is you bust open the door. Frond sees something happening dramatically. You're distracted about what your performance is going to be like. Shujaa, I'm not even going to roll. I'm just going to do the average hit for these. And I'm going to be kind and not use my crit rules for this, or else I'll straight kill your party member outright. So with no chance. So Shujaa, you're just down. I bring you to 0 hit points. How many hit points do you have, Frond?
I have 9.
9 hit points. Oof. This is a tough fight. I'm gonna roll to see if I can possibly roll under average. That's average. Nope. Okay, so Chesmee and Dragon, you watch as Frond and Shujaa just go down. They just get hit with 2 bolts, or they get hit with 4 crossbow bolts instantly and just go down. And so they're both knocked out. That's death saving throws and stuff like that. And unfortunately, Shujaa, it is your turn. Can I get you to roll me a death save? That's just a d20. 10 and above is a success. 1 through 9 is a failure. A 1 is 2 failures. A 20 is a automatic backup.
How do I do this in
DnDBeyond, you should have a little die icon in the bottom left. And it should just let you roll the top one, which is a d20, and then you can just tell me what that number is.
Oh, cool. Four.
Okay, that's 1 fail for Shujaa. Frond, you don't have your first one until next go around.
Yeah.
Chesmee, it is your go.
Yes.
What do you do watching Shujaa? Before you've even entered the building, you just see 2 bodies drop with 2 bolts in each of them.
I'm gonna cast and absorb energy because I'm gonna lessen some of this melee a little bit for my own.
Okay, what does absorb energy do?
So absorb energy. It captures incoming energy, lessening effect on you, storing it for the next attack. Resistance to the triggering damage type until the start of the next turn. Also, the first time you hit with the melee attack on your next turn, target takes an extra 1d6 damage of the triggering type, and the spell ends.
Okay, I'm guessing it doesn't mean regular weapon damage, but I'm gonna let it mean weapon damage for this because you're already in dire straits.
Probably not. It probably means like for a lightning bolt.
Yeah,
or
I'm gonna say that you can absorb piercing damage, which is the kind of damage they do with short bows, which is what they've been using. And so you've got there. Do you? Because you don't have to use a lot of movement for that. Do you stay outside of the warehouse? Because you and Dragon technically haven't stepped in. All right, so you're just gonna stay out of sight. Do you want to back up and it's not like a rogue hide, but I will allow you to hide for your bonus action to try and get some stealth if you want to back up and tuck away a little bit.
Yes, I do.
Absorb energy actually does count for piercing damage.
Ooh, baby!
Damage.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Awesome.
Great. Excellent. That's very good for a person with a 9 AC. Gotta fix that AC.
Yeah, exactly.
You got luck, apparently.
No, okay. Roll a stealth check for me, Chesmee.
Yeah,
this
resistance to all damage. And that includes if you use if you guys have like 2 different types in like 1 round, it would still absorb. It would still have.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Nice.
That's D&D info with Camille.
Thank you, Camille.
Thanks, Camille. That's awesome.
Glad to be of assistance.
17 stealth.
All right. So you're pretty. You get behind some crates that are out in the alley. A dragon probably just watches you, just like go. Nope. No.
Not today, Satan. I'm not.
Dragon, it is your turn. What do you do?
Right.
This has gone terribly.
Fucking terrible.
So Shujaa, so basically what happened is Shujaa and Frond went in and just immediately got.
Got murked.
Yeah, you haven't even seen really what's in there. You have, I'd say Dragon's been around a lot. You see four arrows sticking out of them. They're not crossbows, they're short bows. So you see 4 arrows sticking out of them. So there are at least 4 archers in there.
Okay.
You know that much.
Okay. So can I step in and then like see where they are and then decide to attack?
Yes, you can step in. You don't have to use much of your movement at all. I'm just 5 feet of your 30.
So Dragon's gonna basically like leap in with his anchor out.
Yeah.
And just like basically, are they within a 15-foot cube in front of me? After entering and like stepping past the buys. Okay. Then I'm gonna cast Thunderwave with my
hit it, baby.
With my anchor.
Is that a save on my part?
Let's go.
That is, you have to make a Constitution saving throw.
What's the DC?
DC is 14.
All right.
Each creature has to make DC 14 Constitution.
Yep. All right. What are the Kenku cons? Kenku con +0 to con, so that's good news.
Ooh. Yeah, let's do it.
That's a fail. That's a fail. That's a success. That's a fail. 3 out of 4 of them failed. Hit me with that thunder wave, baby.
All right. So 3 out of 4 of them take 9 damage.
And 9 damage. Woo.
Nice.
And they're pushed 10 feet away from me. And then the one who succeeds takes half damage and isn't pushed.
All right.
With unconsciously.
All right. So now what I would like you to do is roll me an intimidation check, please.
Alrighty.
An intimidation check, Dragon.
Ooh, that's a 5.
All right, that ain't gonna do it. There's a certain parameters in this battle. Frond, give me a death saving throw.
Okay. I forgot to fucking give myself my damage.
Before we move fully on, Dragon. So you leaped in, and all you had to use was about 10 or 15 feet of your movement to actually get yourself into position. Would you like to then cast your Thunder Wave and then just like step back out of the door?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
I will. So you're still you aren't going to be able to stealth, but the doorway, which is just a normal doorway, it's like a 3-4 foot doorway, right? Means that whereas one of them can get a pretty good beat on you, all 4 of them won't be able to get nearly the beat on you that they got on Frond and Shujaa. So because they're going for you unless they spot Chesmee. Frond, death saving throw.
Okay. Is there a way to do that on DnDBeyond?
I believe that there is. I can't remember where. But... Yeah, you can mark them, but just that bottom left D20 will do it.
Okay. I didn't even know that was a thing. Oh,
yeah.
That's so neat. Yet.
DnDBeyond, my absolute favorite D&D tool that I use. That's a success. That's a success.
Woo!
Let's go.
All right. So, even though only 2 people have actually gotten to do anything much in the party so far, or 3 people, I guess, we're back to the Kenku rounds. And since they did not get scared by Dragon, they are going to go. Now, what's going to happen is 2 of them are going to line up. The other 2 are going to kind of back away. The one that is least hurt is going to kind of put himself in harm's way from Dragon, so he's the one that's facing you. The other one is going to take a little bit of a disadvantage. So I'm just going to roll for each of them. I'm going to roll they're still going to stay ranged. They're not ready to approach Dragon at all. They were immediately heartened and then instantly disheartened.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, we're about to get them all. Oh.
Okay, that hits. So the first one hits, and the second one is going to attack Dragon. I'm going to have the second one attack before I roll damage. No, apparently no, I'm rolling damage. I accidentally rolled damage. 7 damage to you. Are you still up, Dragon?
Yes, I am.
Why the fuck is their attack so high?
You'll find out the reason here soon. Very soon, probably. It also doesn't help. Okay, Dragon, what's your AC?
My AC is 13.
Okay, I didn't flag this for disadvantage because he's shooting through his buddy. He's not very good. That's a natty 1, baby! Natty 1! So, Dragon, you take 7 damage. That's it. The other 2 do not engage you. Shujaa, I need you to roll a second death saving throw, please.
Oh, my God.
Roll that d20. Don't get a nat 1. Do not get it.
Looks like it's a 12.
Okay, that's a success. That's a success. 1 failure, 1 success for Shujaa.
Yeah.
Chesmee, you actually have sight on the one Kenku that like lined himself up with Dragon, so he can see him. So you do have someone in sight. They are about 30 or so feet from your distance, and they have not spotted you.
Oh, so I can firebolt those bastards.
Yes, you can.
I'm gonna firebolt the shit out of them.
Okay, I think you roll an attack.
Yes.
This is a strikingly serious fight for something that's 4 Kenku in a room.
I just wanted to see what was in the room. Damn it! Like
I mean, you found out.
You fucked around and found out.
Exactly.
And I found out, and I couldn't even clap my ass while doing it.
No,
Right?
that ass is depressingly still.
Why am I not? I'm rolling, but I can't see my roll. Did anybody else see my roll across the
I have
screen?
not seen your roll yet.
I didn't. I think the rolls are only for you. Oh, if you there's so in the top right, you'll see campaign the campaign name, and then there's like a little chat box or whatever. That's the history. So you could do that, or you could just roll again.
Okay.
Yeah, I got Shujaa's roll. I don't have a roll yet from Chesmee.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm not I'm not rolling.
Try just the dice in the bottom left. Just roll a d20. I can look at what your hit would be.
Yeah.
Collection, my campaign.
Wait, I hear it, but I didn't see it. Okay, hold on 1 second. No, it's not showing up for me.
Yeah, if that doesn't work, if you just type dice roller into Google, it'll give you one, and you can just hit a d20 on that.
Okay, all right, I'll do that.
Sometimes I use that when I feel like DnDBeyond is favoring the DM a little too much.
Yeah.
Which 17. Totally happened. Is that 17 on the die or 17 total? I suppose it doesn't matter. It hits.
17 total.
Yeah, it hits. So that was Firebolt?
Yes.
Roll that 1d10 damage.
Turn the tide.
Oh, yeah.
$11.
Ooh.
Don't think it can be 11 with a 1d10.
Oh, did you roll a 1d20?
Oh, I did. Yeah, hold on 1 second. That's
You got to click on the ones in the box to clear them, and then, yeah, there's a d10 in there.
I was going to say that was specifically a spicy D10.
Yeah, it was like I got an 8 and a 3, and then...
I didn't even notice. I was just like, cool.
That sounds better. 16.
16 to hit or 16? Because, again, you only have a d10 of damage. So it can't be higher than 10.
Well, if the goddamn thing would roll and I didn't have to use dice roller.
Yeah, so clear out the dice roller, and then you should just be able to click on the single D10. Just the
D10, which I'm doing.
Yeah, and it should just automatically roll 1 for you.
It does, 1.
It only did 1 damage?
1.
All right.
Literally.
Okay.
Which is back to 11?
Yeah, which is terrible. So now I'm just like, wait a second here.
You were robbed. You were robbed. Doesn't matter, Tia. It's gonna be fine. I am 100% sure that Chesmee will. Chesmee, you just clip him. You're trying to avoid hitting Dragon, and it means you just kind of clip the Kenku. But I'll rule it. Since it was such a light attack and a little bit off angle, I'll rule it that he does not see where that came from. He can't figure it out. He can't see past Dragon.
He can't see me.
So you don't have to. You don't have to worry about him coming at you. Dragon, this is your go again.
All right. Can I go in, grab one of them, and pull them out and do spare the dying while I'm doing that? Because it's a touch thing.
Yes, but I'm going to have you roll insight before you do that.
Okay. Insight. There you are, +4. That's a 17 on insight.
Okay, I just want to say, spare dying a regular action or a bonus action?
Regular action.
Okay, I am going to say that you, Aaron, however you want to translate this diegetically in the world, know that 3 out of the 4 of these Kenku are looking very, very rough, and none of them look brave. So you feel if you do just a little bit more damage, you may not have to kill them. You may just have to hurt them enough that they're like, all right. But you also know, and this still makes it a player choice, that Shujaa, though not likely to die any second, is closer than Frond. You know that he has 1 fail, and then that 1 could just instant kill him. And so you can make your choice there.
Okay, gotcha. In that case, I guess the best defense is a good offense. I'm going to jump in and cast Thunderwave one more time.
All right, I'm going to roll it just because I literally do not want players to die in the 3rd episode. No. I'm going to rule it that they can all get hit by Thunderwave. They did not strategically line themselves up to avoid it. And so hit that Thunderwave. Didn't
listen the first time.
So I got to roll saves again, right?
Yep, Constitution DC 14.
Yep, and they'll still take
that's a save. They'll still take half damage. That's a save. Jesus.
Ooh. That's a 10 for damage.
It's a 10 for damage?
Spicy.
Yep.
It's a 10 for damage.
It's a 10 for
damage. Let's go.
So, it's so sad that Frond and Shujaa cannot see what happens when Dragon steps in, leaps over the bodies, thunder waves, leaps back behind the bodies, takes an arrow to the chest, takes a beat to think about what's happening. Well, Chesmee gives one of the Kenku hotfoot with the firebolt, hotfoot, and then Dragon leaps back in and it's like, worked once, why not again? And instantly knocks out all 4 of the Kenku with that thunderwave. All 4 of them go down completely unconscious.
Let's go.
Completely unconscious. So here's what I'm going to do. We are still in initiative because we have players that are down and rolling death saves. I cannot believe that the one person... So they all passed it except for the one person that needed to not pass it.
Oh, nice. All right, so I have Spare the Dying. I could just touch either of them. And
you can, but the way that I run combat is that because we're done and there is a theoretical chance that Shujaa could roll a 1.
Oh, okay.
Frond, I would like you to roll death save just to really affect what Dragon has to decide. And then Shujaa, you also roll a death save.
Okay, right now?
Yeah.
I'm rolling a death save right now.
Because this would all happen technically before Dragon could possibly have enough time to get to him.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
That makes it.
What is the B?
The B is a nat 20, Frond, and I'll explain that in a moment. Shujaa, what do you got for your death save?
I got nat 20.
Okay, well, this really helps Dragon out. So, Shujaa still struggling on the ground, booty too thick, weighing him down. Frond, on the other hand, look, you could have sworn Frond was like seconds from death's door. And Frond, on a nat 20, your eyes just pop open and you inhale breath with a gasp. And you're at 1 hit point, because that's what happens on a nat 20 death saving throw, is that you go to 1 hit point and you're back up. Now, Dragon, if you want, seeing that Shujaa is awake and breathing, Frond is awake and breathing, and Shujaa is still unconscious and at death's door, feel free to cast Spare the Dying now, if you would.
All right. So Dragon kneels next to Shujaa, places a hand on his forehead, takes out a flask full of cold seawater and pours it over his face, and wakes him from dying. The seawater, by the way, just part of the ritual, not necessary for the spell.
This is for Dragon.
Yeah. This is for Poseidon.
Yeah.
Okay, so Shujaa, you still would normally technically be unconscious, but as there is no more threat in this room, and you could just like wait for some time if you wanted to, I am going to rule that you also are up with 1 hit point, so that you can like role play and interact with shit, so that you can play D&D. That is the way. Yeah, you did. So you did not. You had 2 successes, 1 fail. Dragon Spare the Dying brings you all the way out. What it would normally do is it would stabilize you to 0 hit points. It means you'd stop rolling death saves, but you'd be unconscious. But for expediency's sake and letting you play, actually like do things during the session, other than just immediately get shot and go down, I'm going to say that you're back up at 1 hit point as well. So Frond, Shujaa, you're both at 1 hit point. I don't know what Dragon's hit points are. 2. Chesmee, you're fine. You have not been touched. So now there's, on top of there being the pile of dead bodies kind of in the back wall, there's now 4 unconscious Kenku. You have time, technically, Dragon, this turn, this turn and next turn, to decide if you want either of these any of these Kenku to definitely not die.
Oh, okay. So some of them are dying?
They're all, in theory, dying. Enemies okay. Don't roll death saves for me unless they're like bosses. They're all going to die if you leave them alone, but you have the time to, in theory, have 2 rounds of spare, like basically stabilizing them if you want.
Yeah. All right. So Dragon looks at Frond and he's like, are you feeling okay? All right. Can you sit there for a minute while we go tend to these others?
Yeah.
All right. Shujaa, how are you feeling?
I think kill him. Fuck him up, kill him.
Yeah. Hey, all right. Just sit there.
At least
sit
one,
there.
so we can talk to him, tie him up.
Oh yeah. No, that's the idea.
Good.
Chesmee, could you help me tie these people up?
Yes.
All right.
I will.
All right. So we go about we tie them up, and anyone who is dying, I also do Spare the Dying on them so that they don't. And yeah, we basically like tie them up, put them around like, I don't know, a post in the room or something, so that they're all facing away from each other.
Okay.
Yes.
2 of them, unfortunately, do pass into the great beyond, but 2 of them you were able to spare.
Well, win some, you lose some.
Yep.
Say goodbye.
Shujaa, come here. Let me touch you.
I'm
I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds.
Touch it.
So that's 1d8 plus 4. Let's roll that. So 10. You heal for 10.
Ooh, thank you so much, Frond. Nice. I feel like a new person.
Okay, so
she still actively has like an arrow sticking out of one of her shoulders. Good.
So, Frond heals Shujaa. I'm gonna, as Dragon and Chesmee tie up these Kenku to one of the support posts in this warehouse. There is the main warehouse, and then there is upstairs. Again, I've already described the bodies. The bodies that you've seen, they look a lot. You don't even need to roll perception checks on this because they're dressed in their appropriate clothes. You can see that these Kenku kind of have a vibe, even though they're Kenku. Even though there's these crow avian creature hybrids, they kind of have the vibe of the same outfits that, again, some of the bandits that were at the Yawning Portal that you fought earlier had. And then the dead bodies, there's some of those outfits, and then there's some outfits that match the same people that had been downed in the street when you pass by the guards, where they had the 3 people kind of held up and tied up, and you couldn't really intervene. They were like, move along. The City Watch wasn't really having any looky-loos at the time. But they were being very protective. But it's pretty obvious, since you kind of went from point A to point B to point C here, that this, like, the fighting that happened in the streets may or may not be tied into this, but it definitely seems to be similar groups of people. So you have a warehouse to look around in, because you are in fact looking for a himbo named Floon, and the last place anyone saw him was around here.
Okay.
And so you're in the big main room, and then there's kind of a very kind of shallow, kind of vertical ladder. It's not quite a ladder, it's not quite stairs, it's somewhere in between, leading up to the upper areas where it looks like there's doors and areas you can go into. And this is, the Kenku will wake up in a bit, but I'm going to give you some time to search around before they do.
Okay. Can we take a short rest? Sorry.
Hold on. Say that again, Frond. And then I'll address the short rest.
Frond is gonna immediately go over to the pile of dead bodies and begin, like, picking through them, because she's looking for Flu.
All right. That's so surprisingly, the module doesn't assume that someone's going to rifle through a pile of dead bodies. So I'm going to decide what happens here. Give me just a moment.
I'll make an investigation check, I guess, while you do that.
Yeah, do an investigation check for me.
It's only a 5.
All right, so I'm just going to tell you what you see on these bodies. 7 of the bodies all have a tattoo of a winged snake on either their neck or forearm. Those are the ones that are dressed mostly in black. And then one of the ones that is in sort of like the kind of consistent vibe of bandit armor that you've been seeing, or bandit attire that you've been seeing, has a tattoo on his palm that looks like a circle with 10 spokes coming off of it. But it's not a full wheel. Like, it's just a circle and then 10 lines. It kind of looks like it'd be a wagon wheel, but it doesn't have the actual exterior circle out on it. Just the center spoke and the 10, or just the center wheel and the 10 on his palm. So that's what you see there. I'm going to say amongst these people, because you're being gross, you're going to find a total of 25 copper between them. And then they do have, you can strip them for parts. They've got like daggers and short swords and short bows on them. Nothing special, nothing like magical or anything like that. Just like standard fare. So if you want to strip them for parts, you can, Frond. You do not see anyone that looks even remotely attractive enough to be described in the way that Floon was described, with like kind of the lighter blonde strawberry kind of hair, the wavy hair that I think Floon has.
I think Frond just kind of like pockets the coins, and she's like, "There's enough that we can split it 4 ways." And she counts on her fingers. Think? Maybe? No.
Oh, let me round it. Let me round it for you. It's 24 copper, so that each of you could have 6. There you go.
Nice.
Sorry, I got to think in base 4 to make this simpler for party divides.
But no Floon. Weird tattoos though. Oh my god, my cats are fighting. Let me go fucking deal with that while you guys.
All right, Godspeed. No matter what D&D game we play, Steve, there has to be cats in the background.
Yep. In low armor cast, the whole world is populated with cats that occasionally just meow in the background for immersion's sake. Because I'm not editing that shit out of the podcast.
I heard.
2 cats in the back of the warehouse just fucking go. One of them is wearing black leathers and has a tattoo of a winged snake on its neck, shaved the fur on its neck to show the tattoo. The other has a tattoo of a spoke or of 10 spokes coming off of a circle. And they are just going to town at each other. No,
my brain translated it. It was like I heard, wow, but in my head it was like, I ain't square up then.
One of them's still making like, I don't know, maybe celebratory mouths in the background. What is your problem? I'm sorry.
To answer your question, Dragon, yes, you can have a short rest. I will spoil a little bit. There's no more combat in this warehouse, so go about searching it and interacting as you like. And then, as you might imagine, the game doesn't throw another combat like this at level 1 characters. And I personally, as a DM or GM, would be terrible as a dungeon mommy if I was like, hey, 2 of you went down in the last combat, let's fight again, just immediately. So you will have the opportunity to short rest while you're here looking around for things. Chesmee, do you search the floor that you're on or the floor above?
I'm gonna head upstairs.
Head upstairs.
I'm looking.
All right.
I'm gonna see if I can find some relics up there.
Some goodies. So Chesmee starts heading upstairs. Chesmee, when you get upstairs, let me describe it. When you get upstairs, you see kind of like a main like lofted overhang in the way that lofts tend to be. There's some more storage area, boxes and stuff off to your left, and then off to your right. There's kind of like a long walkway and a lot of what looks like shipping containers, as well as like a crane for like pulling boxes up to there. Not like a hand crane, so nothing like serious, just like a 12-foot crane arm to just be able to pull boxes up there. But there is a set of offices in. Well, hold on. Before I say that, I gotta look at the room. This is so when people talk about homebrew versus modules, homebrew is easy because I could make whatever I want be in whatever room I want in a homebrew game whenever. Modules I actually have to read. So you don't see anything with even your passive perception. You don't see anything on like the balcony area, the kind of exposed area, but you do see an office door, to the kind of back right of the upper floor here.
Oh, I'm going in.
All right, and then we'll jump back down to Shujaa, Dragon, and Frond after this. The upper floor here contains a suite of offices. There's a number of desks and chairs and bare shelves covered. You look off to your left when you go in, and you can see kind of almost like half walls, like a medieval version of a series of cubicles.
Okay.
But they are tall, and so you would, to be thorough, want to just kind of browse through all of them or be dragged to it. Mounted above each of the offices is like a little alarm bell with a string. And you can see you can see that they actually have a string that goes straight down through the floor. And it looks like on the lower floor there might be some just dangling strings down there for people to quickly warn people inside the offices if anyone is coming, or call them down to the main floor. I need you to roll a investigation check with advantage, Chesmee.
All of us?
So 2d20. No, just Chesmee for this one.
Just me? Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry.
Pull all of them.
Can I just do a 1d20 roll?
Yeah, 1d20. Well, roll 2d20 and then give me your higher one.
Okay. Highest 23.
Total with your invest. Okay, you definitely find this then. You find something that you, Chesmee, as a practitioner of the magical arts, immediately recognize. There is what looks to be a piece of paper with a number of like angular line triangles and lines drawn across it, and you can feel a bit of arcane energy on it. What you know this to be is called a paper bird. A paper bird is a piece of paper where you can write a message of up to 50 words or fewer on this parchment and speak any creature's name. And then if you follow the instructions of the lines on the fold, it becomes a tiny paper bird, and it immediately flies with that message to the recipient's name who you uttered. The recipient must be on the physical same plane with you, so you can't like send it to the Fey realm or anything like that. The bird has some stats to it in case there's any danger of the bird going, but usually that won't be the case unless you do it in front of an enemy. But the bird moves at about 60 feet per... bird can move up to 120 feet per round. What that means is that in a minute's time, it can move 1,200 feet, which means in 4 minutes' time, it can move... in 4 minutes' time, it can easily cover a mile, which means it moves at about 15 miles an hour with this message. And it will get to its recipient. Its recipient will be able to receive it and read it, and so it manages to get there. So you get that. It's not a super common item, and it has some value both in its use or for money, depending, or possibly trade, depending on what it has. And so that's the only like really important item. Otherwise, you see a bunch of papers. You do see a small black book on one of the desks that has a few numbers and what looks to be like several names, but being that you're new to Waterdeep, they mean nothing to you. But it does look like it's different, like numbers like 500, 1200, 120, and everything, and then a name next to it, and each section has like a date above it. So, like, there'll be, like, a date, and then several names and numbers, and then the next day, and several names and numbers. So it is some kind of like, tracking thing, but it doesn't have any context to it other than that.
Okay.
And so those are the two things of any kind of value that you find up here.
I'm definitely taking that paper bird.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put Floon's name on it, and so that is definitely going with me.
Oh.
The black book is interesting too. I might need that. I feel like those numbers do mean something.
All right. You can scoop it. Ain't no one here to stop you now. They all down on the low.
Yeah. Most
of them are dead, and then some of them are unconscious, waiting to wake up. All right. From Chesmee, we're going to jump back down to the main floor. Shujaa, you've been fully healed by Frond. You're feeling good. You're feeling fresh. Maybe a little disappointed that you missed the action. Because you took 2 arrows to the body.
Wait, Shujaa's frozen.
Yeah, we lost Kadesh.
Yeah.
Ryan got kicked.
Yeah. Skype just shut down on me and logged me out, he says. And now it's saying his account doesn't exist.
What
So that's fun.
What is with this?
Message him and tell him to reboot, and then we'll pick it up with Frond. Frond, or no, we'll pick it up with Dragon. Dragon, you know that these Kenku are gonna wake up, but it's gonna take them a few minutes to actually wake up. Do you want to look down on here on the lower floor while you kind of wait for them? They are pretty securely tied. I'm not gonna like trick you and be like, oh, you didn't sit by the bodies. I'm gonna assume that a sailor knows how to tie knots.
Yeah, damn straight. No, I feel like even if one of them did slip out, I doubt that the first thing they would do is try to attack me again.
No, not after you fully wreck them. Not after you fully wreck them like that.
Yeah. All right, so shipwreck them. No, all right.
No.
First thing I'm going to do is, like, I guess check their pockets. Just kind of, like, pat them down. See
if they have anything in their pockets.
Like ID or something. Or, like, not ID, but, you know, something that indicates who they work for, where they come from.
So you do see that one of them, one of the ones that's going to become conscious eventually, does have a small little, like, kerchief monogrammed with the little circle and the 10 spokes.
Oh, okay. He pockets that. And, yeah, I guess I'll start in the room in the area where I'm at. So I guess this is the first floor? Or is
the first floor. This is the first floor. There's no, like, basement or anything like that. Give me a perception check with advantage, please, Dragon, because you've got time to look. So this is sort of like your I've got ample time to be cautious.
Thank God for that advantage, because the first roll was a 9 total, but my second roll was an 18.
All right. So you actually look back toward. One thing you notice is a handful of strings dangling down from the second floor through the bottom of the second floor to the first floor towards sort of the back north of the building, up below the balcony overhangs. But what you also notice while you kind of are looking there is sort of by a lot of the stacks of crates and shipping containers and shelving units is a little closet that's under the stairwell, that's kind of tucked away. It's not like it's hidden per se, it's just not very obvious. And it's a small thing. And you notice the smell of sour fish, but you also hear some some light murmuring coming from it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Dragon's gonna kind of creep towards that and try and put his ear holes or whatever, the things that lizards have, up against the wall. Try and hear it better.
You essentially hear.
I hate to tell y'all, but I think we have a Charlie Brown cartoon on the other side here.
I brought the toast and jelly beans. Well, shall we? I mean, it's probably floon, right?
Maybe.
Probably.
Is there? Okay, so I just make a note of where that sound's coming from, and I guess start looking for a way to that side of the building, like that other side of the wall. Like it's clearly coming from.
No, there's a door. There's a door there.
Okay.
Yeah. It looks like a broom closet or a little storage side closet.
No, don't do it. Don't be fooled, Aaron. We all know that doors are fucking dangerous.
Yeah. All right. So I kick down the door. Now, should we knock? Should we pull those strings back there?
Maybe we should just. I mean, you listened at it, right?
Yeah, I couldn't make out any words. You don't know what this foon sounds like.
That's true. I feel like
Chesmee, I'm just gonna play that you kind of wrap up searching upstairs and can go back downstairs if you like. There's nothing else upstairs of note. It's just those offices and the balcony area.
Okay,
It's
I'm
okay.
definitely going down.
I just realized
we have hand axe.
Okay, yeah, there you go. But you know what? We might not need to do that because I just remembered we have two unconscious folks over there who might actually know. So let's go wake them up. Ask them what's behind that door.
All right.
Or who.
All right. You can all do your hit die type stuff if you want to right now.
Yep, I did mine.
There he is. And that was very strange. To update you, Shujaa, Dragon heard a noise in a closet in the back room of the main floor. Hasn't opened the door yet. Nothing's come out of the door, and has chosen to wake up the Kenku that are still alive before just opening up another door for whatever reason that Dragon might not trust. Just opening up doors. I don't know why.
All right. So, are the Kenku awake already?
They look like they could be roused with some face pats at this point.
Okay. Dragon's gonna full-on backhand one of them.
Ooh, I'm gonna not automatically do damage for it and kill him.
Reel back and right across the feet.
Pat out.
And if that was the case, then he would gently wake up the other one and be like, "Look at your friends. You're gonna tell us what you know."
You know what? Let's do that, Aaron. Roll a d20 for me. 1 through 10. You accidentally just wreck the other Kenku. 11 through 20. You manage it with some grace.
So 19. I managed to apply about exactly as
perfect
much
pressure. Yeah. And he wakes up. What do you want? God damn it! No, just leave us alone.
All right. As he babbles, I'm gonna grab his beak. And I'm gonna turn his face towards the closet. It's like, what's in there? And then I let go.
What's in there? Tie up the pretty boy in the back room. Follow the yellow signs. Follow the yellow signs in the sewers. Tie up the pretty boy in the back room.
Follow the yellow signs in the sewers. Cool. Thank you. Should we close their beaks up again?
Do you want to just knock them out again? You can.
I want to know who they're working for.
Yeah. Ask.
Yeah, who are you working for?
The other one begins to wake up a little bit. Chesmee, this might be of interest to you. You haven't had a lot of direct experience with Kenku. There's a rumor that Kenku can't say anything that they haven't heard said to them. That they are, as a partially raven/crow species, that they don't actually have the ability to develop their own speaking language. They can comprehend language, but they don't learn how to speak in their own voices. They can only mimic voices that they've heard, and that's how they verbally communicate. So it's not really a surprise that out of this other Kenku, who's gently woken up and begun to hear, you hear just this booming voice that sounds like it's 3 times the size of this little 5'2" Kenku. That just says, Xanathar sends its regards.
Uh-oh. I knew. Now, I wonder, can I release my paper bird to find, at this point?
Find Floon?
Yes.
Yeah, you can write more than just his name on it. It's not a thing that returns to you. It's a one-way message. It would be hard for you to follow it because it's about twice as fast as any of you are. And so it would move faster. So it is something that you can consider, and I don't hate that idea. In fact, I really like it. It's very, very clever. But we're going to put a pin in that idea for a bit. I'm going to have you do some rolls on it in a moment. But if you're looking to test if it's the pretty boy back in the room, if that might be Floon, or if they're lying to you with this paper bird, we can do it now, actually. If you want to do it now, roll an insight check for me, Chesmee.
Okay. Yes.
Shujaa, also roll an insight check. The moment you see the paper bird parchment that Chesmee got, you too, as a wizard, will know what this is.
21.
I'm reloading my character on DnDBeyond since I rebooted entirely.
All right, I'm just gonna roll it for you just to see what just a D20. That what is your insight score? Your insight score is not bad. Shouldn't be. You're a wizard. It should be pretty high.
It's pretty solid. I still remember exactly what it is.
I'm gonna pull it up, rolling for you here. Insight for Shujaa is. Oh, you both got a 21. You both got the same exact score.
Damn.
So both. I think, Chesmee, you immediately clock that it's like, this is going to go faster than any of us could travel. Shujaa, you have in your inventory, yes.
An arcane focus, a booty bell.
Oh yeah, I didn't give you a whole bunch of nonsense like I do normally. I gave you like reasonable things to carry around. I'm going to say that you have this. Shujaa, with the 21, you have an idea. You have some string in your inventory. You know that this paper bird will fly as fast as it can, but it's not strong, so it can't like get away if it's leashed per se. So there is a potentiality that if you were to say the name and then like basically leash the bird, it would keep flying in the appropriate direction to Floon, but it would not actually like damage itself to get away. It essentially would be like an excited dog on a leash, where it's like it'll be fine and it'll keep going the direction it wants to go to try and complete its mission, but it'll just sort of fly in the air, hoping. So yeah, I think. Yeah, and so I think you and Chesmee can work that out. Getting a leash. Chesmee, do you want to write anything on the paper as a message to Floon, or do you just want to have it go? Yeah.
See, I wonder also, I could use a illusory script and I could put a spell on the parchment as well.
Ooh, very nice.
And get a location.
This is, I love so much that you're like, I'm just going to use this to find Floon. It's such a cheating cut through some of this adventure, and I love that was your instinct, Prowess.
We lost nearly half of our party. We almost lost nearly half of our party mere moments ago. We're gonna do what we have to do. We're a crew of casters, god damn it.
Exactly.
All right. So yeah, you can use the illusory script and set it so that Floon can see it.
Awesome. Okay. Perfect. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. We'll get to what exactly is. I'll give you some time to think on that. While they're doing that, Dragon and Frond, please, what do you think based off of what the Kenku has said, which line-wise was tie up the pretty boy in the back room, follow the yellow signs in the sewers, and Xanathar sends his regards. That's the information you got out of those two.
So I assume, this is a little table talk here, I assume that Floon is, this is Camille, not Frond. I assume that Floon's in the closet. I assume that maybe they're supposed to take him somewhere, perhaps a sewer place where they follow the yellow signs.
Mm-hmm.
And I assume that Xanathar is the one that is making these killings happen, which seems to be like specifically to cause strife by targeting different gangs. So I think Frond says this shittily, but is essentially like, okay, Floon probably in there, probably was going to be taken to the downtown place, and probably Xanathar's guild causing problems, trying to make people fight. Doesn't seem like anything.
Perhaps he's trying to set the local factions against each other and gain power in the confusion.
I mean, that sounds like something that a crazed guild would do.
He could just be feeling like me in a deck.
That is also extremely possible. True.
Like, hey, if I fuck this enough, I might get something entertaining.
Yeah. Just you gotta appreciate a good classic Psycho like that. But yeah, should we start by opening up that closet?
I've got a hand axe.
Okay. All right. You be ready to hit whatever comes through that door in case it needs to be hit.
Unless it is a beautiful man, I'm gonna ready my action to absolutely chop whatever falls out of that door.
All right. So Dragon has his hand on the doorknob, and he's like making sure, like, once everybody's ready, he like opens the door.
Wait, do we have Steve? Okay, we do.
Yeah, you do. No, I was just being very still.
My vision's based on movement.
There, I'll just do this.
Thank you.
You open the door. Just behind the door is a number of crates and boxes and some tarped over things, and you can see one of the tarps in the back is kind of wiggling around, like it's covering something that's wiggling around.
Okay.
Something that's roughly humanoid size.
Maybe it's a human-sized snake.
I cast Toll the Dead at it. No. All right.
And you can both easily hear the coming from under the tarp too.
Weird
I
sounding
smash it with my anchor. No.
We should probably unloose it. Unleash.
Yeah.
Unleash.
We'll unloose it. Dragon unlooses the tarp.
Under it, you see a very handsome-looking man. His hair, a light brown, broad shoulders, gagged at the mouth, steely kind of gray eyes. Definitely dirty. Definitely reeks of fish smell. And in relatively nicely adorned clothing. Like a nicely brocaded tunic, a proper leather belt with a silver buckle, that sort of thing. Good, like comfortably wealthy walking around clothes.
Cool.
All right.
And he's gagged, and he looks at you with eyes wide and a little bit of like fear in them, but also some mild anger. Or like frustration, maybe? Indignation. Yeah, there it is. We got to it. Indignation, that's the word.
I think Frond kind of goes to move the gag. She's like, all right, I'm going to remove this, but don't bite my fingers or I'll bite yours.
Coughs, and he goes,
Dragon silently nods.
I promise you I have no intention of biting your fingers, you young, beautiful, hideous creature. Please, undo my bindings.
I'll do as the nice man says.
Absolutely. And you, Dragonborn fellow, excellent. Thank you so much for rescuing me. And he starts dusting himself off a little bit and sniffing. And he's like, truly, in a harrowing situation I was. But then, by the grace of all gods, good, lawful, and willing, they sent you to me. I appreciate it greatly. My name is Renee Neverember. Pleasure to meet you. And he bows deeply to both of you.
Renee Never? Oh, crap. This is the wrong fancy guy.
Wrong fancy guy?
Yeah.
Fancy guy.
Yeah, that's right. We're do you know a Floon by any chance, or did you see a Floon? He was what, redheaded?
Yeah. Also very handsome.
Yeah. Redheaded and also very handsome.
Floon. Truly a tragic tale. A tale that I will tell you, but first I must get out of this fish-smelling room. And then roll charisma checks, Dragon and Frond. So just add your charisma bonus to a d20 roll.
Oh, I'm good at that.
18.
Oh, I'm all right at that today. 15.
So what you want to do is, or he's like, he dusts himself off and he starts heading out of the room and he's like, oh, by the way, never let a good deed go unrewarded. There's some materials in there that anyone might be interested in. I'm sure I wouldn't know what they were because I wouldn't be looking for things like that, but you all might. And feel free to browse the wares. Don't mind the smell, though. I need to take a breath of not fresh air, but regular warehouse air. And
I like that we rescued someone and he turned out to be a vendor.
No, he's the so Floon, not Floon. Fuck, who am I?
Frond.
Frond goes, no, he's the son of the previous leader of Waterdeep. He's like an important dude.
I am an important dude. You're right, little weird friend.
Silvers, right?
Oh, okay.
And so when you look back at the room, when he gestures back at it, you see a couple barrels filled with spoiled fish that are just like open and disgusting. Mm-hmm. But then you see both of you with that charisma and him gesturing to you, both look in the room for anything of value. You actually see some covered up canvased paintings.
Ooh, okay.
Covered up canvas paintings that look like they're covered, like kind of laying on top of an actual like complete crate in there. And when you look at them, they're basically scenic views, landscapes of Luskin, Neverwinter, Silvery Moon, and Baldur's Gate. And they both look great. Neither of you deal in art, but you recognize well-quality paintings, and you know that they sell for a decent amount. And then in the crate that they're beneath, which is gently... which just opens up as a lid, you see what looks to be a bunch of black metal iron bars, but they don't smell like iron. You don't get that iron smell that certainly Dragon and Frond are both familiar with. And any kind of rubbing on them, if Frond licks it, the corrosion comes off on Frond's tongue. And they're actually a number of gently corroded silver bars. 10-pound silver trading bars. There are 15 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Silver. I'm reading the thing. I know silver doesn't corrode.
Oh wait, no, but whatever.
They would have been disguised, I guess.
Yeah. Whatever.
We just
sure.
cover them in coal. Yeah. Come on, wizards! You could have been so smart there.
And there's 15 of them. And Dragon, you know that these bars are roughly worth 50 gold apiece. So that's 750 gold worth of silver bars in that container. And you can see Renee just kind of whistling and looking up and around and just kind of wandering over toward Chesmee and Shujaa, who've currently got are currently rigging up the paper bird to be like a leashed locator for Flown. And he's like, both of you both helped rescue me too. Another Dragonborn. 2 Dragonborns in one party. What next? I'm gonna hear that 2 of you are wizards? That's ridiculous.
Mention that.
A paper bird. Excellent. Oh, well, you all asked about Floon, and I can tell you Floon's tale. Unfortunately, I am partially at fault for the woes within. I was concerned when I was drinking with my buddy Floon over at the tavern that I'm not going to go back and look in the module what the tavern's name was, but wherever tavern we were drinking in when we were last seen in public. Yeah. And he got a little bit too into his cups, so I thought I'd be a gentleman and escort him home. But just then we were jumped by no less than 5 thugs. And 5 thugs as we were headed back. And they dragged us down this disgusting alley and into this disgusting warehouse. But I thought they had both of us. And then I realized that perhaps they just had me. Or they just had me, mistaking me for Floon. Or perhaps thinking I was of some sort of value. My father was the last open lord. He embezzled a large amount of money. And they explained to me that...
As most lords do.
They explained to me, even though calling me Floon, that it's a rumor that he hid all of those dragons somewhere in this city. And they thought that I might be the one to find it with a little stone called the Stone of Galore, which was... which at one point they had, but apparently it had been taken. They thought for some reason Floon was mixed up in it. Or me. It's unclear. The module is written kind of poorly at this point for this particular detail.
Of course.
Yeah.
But yes, it was the Zentarum. The ones in the black leather there with the snake wing tattoos. Those guys. Seems they didn't meet a very good end. Seems neither did the Kenku either. Oh my goodness.
Shaw did. I can't remember.
The Kenku. Can't trust him.
No, you cannot. Any crow cannot be trusted. They have memories. They hold grudges. Also, in this world, those Kenku are actually fully intelligent humanoid creatures and oftentimes cast in the role of villains. So there you go.
It's true. Some of their best neighbors in the forest were Kenku, but people treat them really badly.
It begs to wonder, if society didn't assume poor things of them, would they be forced to do those poor and dastardly deeds? Who knows? Certainly not I. I've never had anything assumed of me, except that I know where my father's wealth is.
Or that you're Floon, one of the two. So where's Floon then?
I know not. I was gagged up there for the last, seems like at least 2 days, maybe a week. I certainly have a week's worth of hunger in my belly.
Oh, I've got some rations in my... Would you like some?
No. I will get proper food, but I do appreciate it, little weirdo. I do appreciate it. Nonetheless.
Her name is Frond.
Frond. Oh, I apologize. You're right. That was rude of me. Frond, I'm sorry. I appreciate the offer of rations. Thank you, sir. What are all of your names? Frond, your name, sir? Pointing to Dragon. And your 2 names. You two with the paper bird.
Chesmee.
Chesmee and oh, did we lose Ryan again? No, we didn't. I just didn't hear him.
Ryan's here.
Chesmee and I don't know if Ryan actually said his name.
And my parchment partner over here, Shujaa.
Shujaa. Okay, Chesmee and Shujaa. It's important that I know names. Shujaa. Shujaa, roll insight on Renee here.
$17.
Renee, so 2 things come to you. Number 1, you notice Renee sizes you up, Shujaa. Not in a aggressive man-on-man way, but an aggressive man-on-somebody he might want to have sex with way. I scan Shujaa up and down. Different man-on-man way. Different one-on-one basketball that he's thinking about.
Hey.
So yeah, you know that he sizes you up there. Wow, internet, do your thing. The stream is just a mess. I recorded it so I can put the recording. I can put the recording up on the YouTube, so that those that want to see it can watch it there. But he looks over at the second thing that you clock, Shujaa, is the way he described him taking Floon home because he'd been a little too drunk in his cups. just as you all suspect that maybe Volo had a kind of relationship with Floon, Renee also might have had a similar relationship with Floon. Looks like Floon definitely was friendly with a lot of gentlemen. No shade, just truth.
No tea, no shade, no lemonade. Yeah.
Did Floon belong to the streets?
Floon, maybe. He belonged to the streets.
Yes, Floon's job might be.
He belonged to the streets.
It seems like it might be maybe more of a sugar daddy situation.
Maybe.
No, just me.
Either way, he certainly belonged to the sheets.
Definitely.
Sugar daddy's just one denomination of belonging to the streets.
If you are looking to true wizardly wisdom from Shujaa, if you are looking for Floon, I'm deeply invested in his security. I can go with you. I can help find you. Do you have any leads on where he's going? Or where he might have been taken?
Well, our paper bird might be a lead for us.
All right. Oh! And he sees the string on it, and he goes, clever, good, using it to do that. It almost seems like there's supposed to be other NPCs that come in here and help you with that, but no need for them right now. Well...
Does that mean, wait, is it supposed to be, are we supposed to take fucking, Neverember here with us?
I mean, you don't have to. He's offering to help. He's like, I certainly don't want to be a fifth wheel to this group. I'm sure you all physically handle yourselves well in dangerous situations, and no one is ever in a threat of their life.
I nearly died. Or maybe I did die.
No, you almost did, but you pulled out of it.
I mean, I was on the brink of death.
Yeah.
I was talking to the guy.
And maybe it would be helpful.
And we
Safety
need
in numbers.
Stone of galore. So,
Well, if anyone's going to find all those dragons that my father almost definitely hid, but definitely told me nothing about, because the guy is a total jerk ass, then certainly an interest. But for now, I'm more concerned about Floon. So, after you, oh wonderful wizards, gesturing to Shujaa and Chesmee.
let's go. Now, do we have the Stone of Galore?
No, he doesn't. So the Stone of Galore is lost. To be a little bit more specific, he mentioned at one time Xanathar's guild had it. And he mentioned Xanathar's guild by name, which you've heard the name Xanathar as well. And so they had it, but it was stolen from them. And he and Floon seemed to be wrapped up into that somehow. But he said that they just assumed that one of them knew about it since they were both close with his father, the Open Lord. And, you know, might know more. Yeah, might be interested in it. But he's not really sure because they were Kenku and they were just sort of repeating words at him. And so they weren't making really clear, fluid sentences at him about what they wanted out of him or who he was. And he couldn't trust them calling him Floon as them misidentifying him versus just stating a name. And they also, you know, mentioned his name. So it was very confusing for him while he was tied up. So he's not sure, but he is sure that he and Floon were kidnapped, but that Floon wasn't ever with him in the closet. So he's pretty sure they took Floon elsewhere.
In the closet.
Can I do an insight roll to see if I think this guy is lying to us in any way?
Yeah, go for it.
Yes, we need to know that.
Yeah, feel free to all make insight rolls against Renee Neverember.
Yeah, someone else should also make one.
I'm going to make an insight roll. I don't believe this. Renee is tripping.
Also, still fuck R. Kelly, but that in the closet joke will never not be it.
Yeah. I'm
I have
glad
a
you saying it
15.
because I immediately thought it.
You have a 15?
Yeah.
All right, 15. Chesmee, I think that you get a pretty good read on him. Number one, you notice that he's definitely scanning Shujaa up and down. So his reasons for going with you might not be wholly about Floon, but that you don't think that he's lying to you. You honestly think that he's being pretty on his sleeve about his motivations.
Okay.
At least it seems very much like he's being very honest. Maybe he's not quite clever enough to lie to you. He doesn't really read as someone that's a particularly close to the vest kind of guy.
Okay. I think it's worthwhile because I feel like we need a nobleman on our side, and
always helps.
Trying to, yeah.
So if you want to take him with you, you certainly can. Do you want to activate your paper bird?
I want to activate my paper bird. Yes.
So the bird begins flapping about. And it immediately starts leading you back out of the warehouse. Just to assume, I assume you take everything of value with you. Between Dragon, Shujaa, Chesmee, and Frond, you can carry all of it. Everything of value with you. So the silver bars, the paintings, the book that Chesmee got earlier, and I will add that into your inventory after this session, so you don't need to worry about it. But it drags you back down the alley and toward along the path most direct that it can sense Floon is in, and it doesn't go very far. Unfortunately, just down at the very end of the alley, as it almost reaches the street, is a manhole cover. And and the bird just sort of, it doesn't land so much as it just flies downward toward the manhole cover, and it keeps sort of like bumping into it.
Manhole. Yes, I like that.
I'm gonna say that you say that out loud, Chesmee. Renee immediately responds, "I also enjoy a very good manhole," and he's just full eye contact at Shujaa. 100% eye contact at Shujaa while he says that.
I wink at Renee, and my mom will turn around.
I'm sorry. What's a manhole?
Well, young Frond,
is it a city thing?
I'll let your friends explain. Not as an insult. I have no idea how old or young this person is. They are a halfling, obviously, but one like I've never seen before. And so, no insult. I just don't want to say anything that's untoward around innocent ears.
I turn to Frond and I say, if you ever saw me clap my ass, you would understand.
Oh.
But yeah, so it's
an asshole? That's an asshole down
it's
there?
gonna smell like one. It's gonna smell like one.
Yeah.
Those backyards.
You're on.
So yeah, it's clearly directing you to go into the sewers. Do you head on down into those sewers?
I think we dive in head first.
I'm gonna assume that's that's a metaphor, and you don't just jump head first into sewers. You remove the manhole easily enough as you're closing it up. Going in raw, no protection. As you close it up behind you, you can hear the footsteps of various people kind of walking with purpose toward the warehouse, but you've been obfuscated by the manhole. You don't see who they are or anything like that. You just hear them as you sort of shimmy down the ladder into the sewers of Waterdeep. And even though it was very short due to many streaming problems, that is where we're going to end the session tonight.
Yeah. Right
it was very fun, though.
Yeah. That was an action-packed session.
Yeah.
It got up. So, sorry about the streaming issues. For those that can hear me through the constant shuddering frames of this fucking stream today. through the shuddering streams, shuddering frames of this stream today, you will be able to watch this VOD and all back episodes over on Dying Exposure's YouTube to miss any of the joke or catch up on any of the jokes you missed. We will be back. Maybe I might push for us next Monday so we can have a whole session. Maybe we'll do it 2 Mondays from now. We'll figure it out. We'll let you know on the Twitter and the Facebooks and the other social medias. I'm just going to wrap it up because the stream is so terrible. Make sure to follow at My Name is Prowess, at Triple Aaron, at KadeshFlow, and at Dying of Exposure on social media. Go to nerdcorevpc.com. Listen to those round 3 tracks. They are good. Not mine, but others. And so go look for the artists that contribute. And make sure to give some charity that benefits cats for Camille. That trains cats how to arena fight each other in the household.
Pray for me.
But we will see you next time on Dungeons and Dying of Exposure, Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Good night.
The Booty Piece Saga.
The Booty Piece Saga.
The Booty Piece Saga.
Very ass-driven campaign.
Yeah.